From the books that you've read, I was just so curious to know how does my brain function? Like how is my brain wired? I know you're talking about labels and stuff, but I'm like for me, I'm just really curious on how my brain works because I need to know more about it.
Well, that's a lot of people, scientists, cognitive scientists are still trying to figure out how the brain works. But see, the one thing that we know is that the calmer you are, the better your brain works. Okay, so basically, what we need to look at is how the brain actually develops. So the brain kind of develops bottom top, like, from the back to the front.
Yeah.
That's how the brain develops, right? So knowing that, and then knowing that you need to, as children, our emotional brains are stronger, than our logical part of our mind. So understanding that we need to strengthen this part of our brain, okay, and the only way, when we say strengthen, it means that you create more neural wiring in these parts by looking at things more factually, more logically, okay, and sort of understanding how actually the brain develops. I think, if children are taught actually how the brain develops and how important it is to learn strategies to stay calm,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it helps. In fact, one of the studies I teach my clients now is, the Nobel Prize that was just awarded to this neuroscientist, where she's actually talking about memory,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and how stress impacts memory. So if you become anxious, right,
Uh-huh.
you realize that you can't remember what you've studied,
Yes.
and looked at the how memory actually works, right? So it's like the cells of the memory are like a grid pattern. It's like a grid, and
Yes.
if you get stressed or become anxious, then the patterns of that grid starts
Will
to change.
change.
So you can't remember. So remember, if you're so anxious, you say, "Oh my God, I've studied everything, but I'm forgetting. I can't remember." You say those things, right? So
Yes.
that's because when you're stressed, even if you've studied for 25 hours or whatever, you simply can't remember because the stress goes and affects all the memory cells. So, one of the best ways to know how the brain works is to say that, hey, if I know how to stay calm, then I know my brain can work better.
So basically, from what you were trying to say, that like when the brain structure change, the cells change because the person just blanks out because of the anxiety, right?
Mhm. Correct. So this person has actually won a Nobel figuring it out, and telling us that one of the ways to do this to help ourselves is actually to learn mindfulness techniques. And I
And
actually now work together that I was actually teaching you that. I was teaching you some of the mindfulness techniques to help you stay calm, stay focused.
and in an exam, I just wanted to ask, like in an exam, if like if someone was struggling with with my condition, which can be used as a power.
Sorry. Just go slow. Just repeat.
So if a person who has my condition
Mhm.
is in an
What
exam,
what condition?
like like they have anxiety, stress during an exam. So what are some things that you could suggest for them to reduce that, like during an exam? Because obviously they would like blank out, and then later if they would feel like as if they've not done a good job, and sometimes it has happened to me. So what do you think they should do before going for an exam? Because it will be really helpful so that they know what exactly they should do before going for an exam and just calmly approach it.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you already know that this is what happens to you, that you get stressed during an exam, see, a little bit of stress is going to be there, because it's an exam. But if you find that you're so stressed that you're not able to remember things and the stress is sort of incapacitating you and all of that, then you've got to practice how to stay calm. Okay, because what happens is a little bit of we need to teach children a little bit of how the nervous system works. So we have what we call the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. So when you get stressed out, the sympathetic nervous system is like the accelerator in a car. Okay, so your heart starts beating fast, and then
Mm-hmm.
you feel like you have butterflies in your stomach and all of that, right?
Yes.
So now we need to press the brakes, which is we need to use the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay.
Yes.
And we need to calm the mind. We need to calm ourselves. So one of the best ways to do that is to breathe, because your breath can act like the brakes. All right. And this is not something that you do at the time of the exam. This is something that you practice and practice. Like, see, if you want to do a math exam, don't you study for it? Don't you
Yes.
keep practicing? Don't you keep practicing the sums over and over again?
Yes.
You do that, right? It's not just for math, it's for any subject, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you keep practicing a skill till you get
Yes.
it right. Well, that's very similar to what you could do if you feel that, oh, I get very stressed during exams. So, one of the best ways to do it is to recognize that, okay, I'm getting stressed. So, how do I calm myself? So, we do a very easy technique to do is you take in a breath for a count of 4. Do it with me now. Breathe through your nose to a count of 4. Like I'll show you, I will count on my finger so you can see. So taking in an in breath to a count of 4 and holding it to a count of 4, and then breathing out through your mouth, like how you, cool hot soup like this. So breathing out to a count of 8. Okay, breathe out through your mouth and hold for 4. That means don't breathe, just hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then breathe in again through your nose, through your nostrils to a count of 4. Hold to a count of 4. And breathe out through your mouth like this. So 4, 4, 8, 4.
Actually, we use this for a lot of music exercises in my school. We use that for music because it helps with our voice too.
Yes, yes. So when you do this, you are actually putting the brakes. Okay, you're
Yes.
using parasympathetic nervous system and you will slowly calm down. And then
Yes.
you're able to focus. Then you're able to remember. Your memory starts working.
Yep. So it starts
But this
jogging
is
back.
not, but this is not something at the time of the exam. This is something that you've got to practice over and over.
Oh, yes. And what are some what is the best advice that you could give to children with ADD?
Like sort of help them understand that things will improve. Okay, that with over time, also knowing how changes and how we can actually help the brain change by doing certain exercises. Okay, and with a lot of patience, they can definitely start to focus and do better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And to also um, watch what they think and what they say to themselves. Okay. So to encourage them to talk positively to themselves, to encourage them to be kind to themselves and know that with time they can get better and will do better.
Yes, that's about it.
Are we done?
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Vedika.
Thank you. Thank you so much
Uh,
for being part of this interview. We will
my
be.
pleasure.
It's very helpful, actually, to people. To people.
Thank Yeah, thank you. I hope so. And absolutely my pleasure. And all the
Thank,
best for your exams.
thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.